In the quiet town of Willow Bend, the mornings always smelled like pine and wood smoke. It was the sort of place where porch lights doubled as neighborhood watch and everyone knew everyone's business. Or so they thought. Emily Hart was one of the town's most beloved figures. At 32, she worked the evening shift at Willow Bend Medical Clinic. She was known for her soft voice, her careful hands, and the way she remembered little details about her patients. How Mr. Alden took his coffee, which brand of lip balm Mrs. Jensen liked, the songs that calmed the frightened children. So when Emily didn't show up for her shift one Tuesday evening in late September, something felt wrong immediately. Her car was found in the clinic's parking lot, locked. Her purse sat on the passenger seat. There were no signs of struggle. Her small house on Pine Street was undisturbed, bed neatly made. Her scrubs from the previous day still hung over the bathroom door. The town was terrified. At first, investigators suspected a transient or a passing truck driver, someone who slipped into town unseen and vanished just as quickly. The sheriff's department put out bulletins along the interstate, interviewed registered offenders, combed the woods, dredged the river. Nothing. But as days turned into weeks, the peace of Willow Bend began to fracture. It was Emily's best friend, Megan, who first mentioned that Emily sometimes came to work looking exhausted, eyes puffy, hands trembling. Megan had assumed it was stress. Nurses carried everyone else's pain. Sometimes they couldn't put theirs down at night. Then others came forward bit by bit. A pharmacist at the clinic admitted that Emily had occasionally requested early refills on anti-anxiety medication. Her landlord mentioned she had recently installed new locks. 3 of them, on her front door. A young grocery clerk said Emily would sometimes park her car in different lots. Like she didn't want someone to know where she was. Someone, it seemed, was frightening her. Investigators pulled her phone records. Every night between 1 o'clock and 2 a.m., Emily had received calls from a blocked number. Sometimes she answered, other times she didn't. But they came without fail. Almost ritual. They traced the calls. Not from a stranger. From her husband. Except, no one in Willow Bend knew she had one. Records showed Emily had married 4 years prior, during a short period when she briefly left town. The man, Daniel Cooper, had a small criminal record, mostly domestic disturbances and 1 threatening behavior charge. The marriage had been annulled only 6 months later. But here's the twist: there was no legal record of the annulment ever being finalized. Legally, Daniel still had access to her. Investigators located him living 2 towns over, in a rundown trailer at the edge of a field. He seemed shocked when questioned. He admitted to calling her but insisted it was only because he loved her, because she was his, because they were meant to fix things. His voice was calm. Too calm. The kind that chills bone. But he had an alibi. Verified. Watertight. He hadn't seen Emily in weeks. So if not him, then who? The answer came from the clinic's security footage. Not the main cameras. Those had shown nothing. It was a tiny, half-broken camera near the supply room, grainy and colorless, that revealed the truth. Emily had left the clinic willingly that night. She walked out the back door, her steps slow and uncertain, beside someone she clearly knew. Megan. Her best friend. The one who first suggested stress and anxiety. The one who cried hardest at every vigil. As detectives questioned Megan, her carefully held grief crumbled. She confessed. She and Emily had been in a secret relationship for nearly a year. Emily had ended it 2 weeks before she disappeared, terrified that Daniel had found out somehow. She wanted distance. She wanted safety. She wanted everything to stop spiraling. Megan wanted her back. The night Emily went missing, Megan had begged her to talk privately. They argued behind the clinic. Emily tried to leave. Megan panicked, her arms around Emily, a plea turned to a grip, a grip turned too tight. Emily fell, hit her head on the concrete. The silence that followed, Megan said, felt like a scream. In fear and shock, Megan hid Emily's body in an abandoned root cellar in her grandmother's old property. A place no one had visited in years. The discovery broke Willow Bend open. The town mourned Emily. Not just because she was gone, but because the tragedy came from inside the very trust they all believed in. From someone hers. Her funeral drew the entire population of the town. They filled the chapel, the steps, the sidewalks, candles flickering in the autumn dusk. For a moment, Willow Bend seemed to hold its breath. People still visit her grave. Patients she once comforted, children she once soothed, neighbors she once smiled at on her morning walks. They say the town has never felt quite the same. How could it? Some losses don't echo. They change the air itself. If this story moved you, support by hitting the subscribe button.